Hello and welcome back to That's English.
Hello, everyone.
Now, do you know who this is?
It's Dolly the sheep. Dolly was the first ever cloned mammal.
As you know, cloning is a very controversial subject, but it can help eliminate genetic illnesses.
Oh, I think all this genetic engineering is scary. We'll soon be able to design the genetic structure of our children.
Ah, yes, designer babies.
Wouldn't you like a clone, Ashley?
Oh, he's more handsome than me.
We're going to find out more about cloning in our documentary today on science and technology.
While you watch, try and answer this question. Why do some people think genetic engineering is very exciting?
Let's see.
How would you like your new designer baby? Male or female? Blonde? Blue eyes? Do you think that's impossible? Maybe not for much longer. It was the successful creation of Dolly the sheep from a cell in 1997 which changed cloning from fiction to fact. Dolly lived until she was 6 when she died of lung cancer. Sheep usually live 10 to 12 years. So how successful was Dolly as an experiment? We asked genetic engineering expert Dr. Michael Green.
Although Dolly only lived until she was 6, she was still an amazing success. It was the first time that a cell had grown into a mammal using DNA transfer. The technique has also worked with goats, mice, cows and pigs.
Scientists believe cloning will help doctors fight disease.
Cloning will improve the life of humans. We will be able to eradicate a genetic illness by changing or removing the gene that causes it.
Cloning may also help people on the waiting lists for organ transplants.
They're trying to produce just a single organ, not a complete body, in order to save the life of someone who requires the transplant of that specific organ.
Cloning could also save animal species, such as leopards and polar bears, that are in danger of extinction. Dr. Samuel Jones is also a scientist, but he is an opponent of genetic engineering.
Firstly, it's a very inefficient process. If you treat 100 cells, only 2 or 3 will live. Secondly, it's a very unstable process. There are very real risks of it going wrong.
Results from early animal experiments are already raising concerns about the safety of cloning.
Some cloned animals develop blood and breathing difficulties. This would be disastrous if this was applied to humans.
Opponents believe cloning is also open to commercial abuse.
I am afraid that some people will use genetic engineering for superficial reasons. If parents have enough money, they will use cloning to make cosmetic changes to an embryo by implanting designer genes.
This is sometimes called human enhancement technology. If parents want their baby to have green eyes or a small nose, they will be able to order features in advance.
Genetic engineering technology is advancing so quickly that it will be reality very soon. Some people think it's very exciting because eventually we will be able to eliminate all illnesses. And on a less serious note, it will be possible for people to clone their own pets.
Although scientists may not agree on the rights and wrongs of genetic engineering, they all believe human cloning will happen in the near future.
Unfortunately, I think cloning will be possible quite soon.
At the very least, we will be able to slow down the aging process and maybe eventually create immortal humans.
Well, cloning does have some positive uses, like for organ transplants.
As for cloning pets, that's ridiculous.
Well, scientists clearly don't agree, but it seems we can't stop genetic engineering. So why do some people think it's very exciting?
Let's watch again.
Genetic engineering technology is advancing so quickly that it will be reality very soon. Some people think it's very exciting because eventually we will be able to eliminate all illnesses.
So the answer is because eventually we'll be able to eliminate all illnesses.
Well, that would be amazing.
Yes, but as we've said before, genetic engineering is quite controversial. What about genetically modified food and performance-enhancing drugs?
We asked our international group this question. Are there any scientific issues which are controversial in your country?
Let's see what they say.
I would say currently the big technological issue that a lot of people are arguing about in Scotland are wind farms. There's been a great increase in the number of them in recent years, and a lot of people are campaigning against them because they feel that they damage the environment.
The main issues we have with science is a lot to do with agriculture and pesticides that people spraying on crops.
One of the big scientific sort of issues that we have is genetically modified foods. I think there's a big push towards organic farming and eating organically now.
One of the controversial issues is drugs in sport, enhancement drugs, and they have been used, and like everywhere else in the world, they are cracking down on it.
I would have to say in sport, there's a lot of athletes that take a lot of drug enhancements to I'd say give them more energy, which is definitely not the right thing to do.
I think one of the scientific issues that are controversial in England would be cloning. There's not enough known about it, and they're already talking about trying to put cloned meat into the food chain.
Well, they mentioned most of the things we've been talking about. Genetically modified food, drugs in sport, and cloning.
And wind farms. Many people think they ruin the beauty of the countryside.
Like the huge satellite dish we see in today's episode of That's Britain.
Yes, Elizabeth is still in Cornwall. Today, she visits a wind farm and a tin mine.
Una mina de estaño. In the past, they also extracted copper and arsenic from these mines.
While you watch, see if you can answer this question. Why are all the mines in Cornwall closed now?
Hello. Today I'm in Land's End in Cornwall. It's the most westerly point of mainland Britain. In that direction there's nothing until you hit America. There's not much here apart from this signpost. There's a tourist centre, a lighthouse, cliffs, and of course the sea. But that's about all. A few miles from Land's End, in the middle of nowhere, we find this, Goonhilly Wind Farm. The turbines here together can generate enough electricity for all the homes within an area of around 200 square miles. This is Goonhilly Earth Station, a huge telecommunications centre. This dish, called Arthur, was built to receive the first ever transatlantic TV pictures broadcast from the satellite Telstar in 1962. I'm here with Eddie Serge, who is a technical advisor here at the Goonhilly Earth Station. Can you tell me what it's used for today?
Today the station's used for tracking and monitoring spacecraft, satellites in the sky, and it's also used for broadband satellite communications. It was originally an experiment, but then it developed into an operational station providing telephony, television and data transmission to countries around the world. The site was used for the pictures from the moon landing and lots of international events like Live Aid.
Now we're going to look at some of the technology of the past. This is Giva Tin Mine. It stopped working as a mine in 1990 and is now a museum. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, Mines in Cornwall provided most of the UK's tin, copper and arsenic. Mines like this one can be seen all over Cornwall. All of them closed now because it's too expensive to extract the metal. I'm here with Eddie, who was an employee at the mine before it closed in 1990 and is now a tour guide at the museum. Eddie, can you tell us what mining was like in the olden days?
Well, it would have been a lot of dangers, obviously, with rock falls, because obviously you're pulling dirt from under your feet all the time. There's shrinking ground.
Here's one of the shafts that leads down to the mine. It's a long, long way.
This is called panning. It's an ancient way of finding valuable metals. And they say that I can keep anything that I find. Well, that's all for today. Next time, we're in the English Riviera. Bye-bye.
Wow, two very different places. One looking up at the sky and the other deep under the ground.
Did you hear Eddie say that Arthur, the satellite dish, brought us pictures of the first moon landing in 1969?
Yes, my dad said it was incredible. But let's return to our question. Why are all the mines in Cornwall closed now?
Let's watch it again.
In the 19th and early 20th centuries, mines in Cornwall provided most of the UK's tin, copper and arsenic. Mines like this one can be seen all over Cornwall. All of them closed now because it's too expensive to extract the metal.
So all of the mines in Cornwall closed because it's too expensive to extract the metals.
And lots of people lost their jobs.
Yes, they did. I wonder if Elizabeth found any more valuable metals in the mine.
Perhaps she's still looking.
Well, that's all for today. See you next time for another That's English programme. Bye-bye.
Yes, goodbye.